Hello, I am Baal Kadmon, and I want to thank you for joining me in this podcast. I'm going to discuss a single chapter of a book of mine called The Hidden Names of Genesis. It's one of the first ones that I have written. I'm actually recording the audio for the book, and I figured that maybe you would be interested in one chapter of it, and I'll have, of course, images here. I think it's very interesting. I don't think a lot of people know that within the book of Genesis, in Hebrew, unfortunately not in English, but in Hebrew, there are codes there. There's hidden meaning, and I will, of course, discuss this in my course on the Kabbalah, that I'm working on and will release. But here's like a little bit of a taste of what the Hebrew sort of has hidden within it that would unfortunately not be easily discerned in English. I hope you enjoy it. Again, I think a lot of you actually have this book, but like I said, I'm actually releasing it on audio now because I got, about 15 emails over the last 3 months asking for it to be in audio. So that's what I'm going to do. So you are now going to be listening to chapter 2 of the book. It's probably one of the more interesting chapters, at least as far as I'm concerned, called In the Beginning Was the Name. In it, I make reference to a PDF insert. That's going to be available to those who purchase the audio, but you're actually going to see it here on YouTube live. Well, it is sort of live, right? You'll see the images that I'm referencing in the book. So if you do buy the audio, obviously you'll have a lot more there, but here you'll at least see what I'm referencing in those PDFs. I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 2. In the beginning was the name. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. Just so you know, this is where we're going to start to get a little bit visual here, so please reference the PDF that is enclosed with your Audible purchase. But I will dictate this here as well. The book of Genesis, the first 5 books of the Torah, or the first 5 books of the Old Testament, is the most enigmatic book in the Bible. Within its pages, we learn of God's creation and the story of our earliest ancestors. So much can be said about the book of Genesis that many people can and have written about it. Some look at this book as a concrete fact and will die defending that belief, and others believe it is allegorical and simply a story that is trying to capture the essence of creation. No matter what stance is taken, one must agree that its words are quite mysterious and that inside the words lurks hidden meaning. Hidden doors of perception and hidden keys to creation and manifestation. By simply looking at the Hebrew words of the first paragraph of Genesis can infuse within you the power and light of creation. In fact, the very first day of creation, a hidden light is referenced therein. Most miss it, but this is the spiritual light that will infuse creation and the universe and all eternity. In this chapter, what I'm going to do is establish that the book of Genesis is, in fact, suffused with powerful secrets. I won't go through every single one of them, of course, but I will cover 2 I think are of utmost importance. One is an overt secret, and another is a covert and hidden one. This will create a platform for which to establish the validity of my words for future chapters. Now let us discuss. The first secret I have just referred to, the light of creation. A light you will be tapping into shortly. Let us read the account of the first day and find this light. It's hiding in plain sight. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. On the outset, this sounds like a straightforward reference to the first day of creation. But no, it is not quite that straightforward. I will ask you a question, and your answer will be the key to understanding why this verse does not refer to the light as simply an aspect of daytime. What do you associate most with daytime? Perhaps light, yes, but what causes that light? If you live on this great earth, the answer would be the sun. So daytime is daytime because of the sun. However, if you notice, God does not make any reference to the sun in that passage. In fact, the sun wasn't even created yet. The sun is created on the fourth day. Let us read. Genesis chapter 1, verses 14 through 19. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser night to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light onto the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. As you can see, the day and night we most refer to in our day-to-day lives was created on the fourth day, not the first. The light of the first day is the divine light of creation, and within that light also is contained the darkness. The yin and yang of creation, as it were. Do you see? That is the hidden light of creation, right under our noses all the time. People look and see reference to day and night, but do not see that it has nothing to do with daytime or nighttime at all, but everything to do with spiritual light of creation. Some may even refer to this light as the moment of the Big Bang. Makes one ponder. There are many secrets in Genesis, but by far the most interesting one found involves something called the Torah codes. Torah codes are essentially equally spaced letters that form meaningful passages within the biblical text. In this example, I will display a code that is not only found in Genesis, but also the other of the first 5 books of the Old Testament. The Torah, or the first 5 books of Moses in Hebrew, is spelled right to left. Please reference the enclosed PDF for a visual. So the Torah is spelled Taf Vav Resh He. In this example, we find that the word Torah hidden within the text of Genesis and other books of the Torah. Whoever put these books to print hid it within the text. Divine hand, perhaps? First example. In Genesis, reading right to left, if you count 50 letters from the letter in green and continue to do so for 4 letters, it spells Torah. This is Genesis 1 through 5. As you see, the word Torah is spelled out every 50 letters from the last letter of the first word. Now, I understand that one could say that this is a fluke, a coincidence. However, it is not a fluke. Here is another example in another book of the Torah, the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 1, verses 1 through 6. As you can see, if you count 50 letters left to right from the last letter of the second word, you get the same thing, Torah, spelled in Hebrew. One may say, that too is a coincidence. Here is yet a third example of the word Torah spelled within the first passage of the books of the Torah. Numbers chapter 1, verse 3. If you count 50 letters, from the last letter of the fourth letter, you will find the word Torah spelled backwards. So as you can see, this is no longer within the realms of coincidence. In 3 cases and in 3 books of the Torah, the word Torah is spelled out in code within the first few verses. And yes, it does apply to Deuteronomy as well, but for the sake of brevity, we will proceed. So why the number 50? This is no coincidence. 50 is important in Judaism. Every 50th year is a Jubilee year, and the Torah itself was revealed to Moses 50 days after the Exodus from Egypt. If you want to learn more about the Torah codes, please refer to a great book called, the Torah Codes. I would go on and on about this, but I wanted to at least show that there is precedence for secrets within the words of the Bible, not just Genesis. Another reason I mention this is because within the first few verses of Genesis contain the hidden names of God. In the next chapter, we will discover them. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed this quick podcast. If you are interested in this book, by all means, go to Amazon.com and look up the hidden names of Genesis. Tap into the hidden power of manifestation. Or if you want to wait until the audio is out, that's good too. But this is definitely more of a visual book. But like I said, people have asked for an audio version, so that's what I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed this. I will speak to you soon. So mote it be.